but he's already a two-weight world champion, proven against the best, and he wants another one.
Absolutely amazing stuff. Terrific.
It's a world featherweight title, and something I want. And you know, I can tell everybody, I've did it.
Manuel Medina's pretty special too. He's had 4 different spells as a featherweight world champion, and he too has been a test for the best.
Oh, right hand knocks Hamid's gum shield out.
It's a classic venue, and it should be a classic world title fight. But in New York, they're always looking for the next heavyweight star. Which of these men fits the bill? Jameel McCline, the dangerous new force. Shannon Briggs, already a test for the big names. The winner will put himself in the frame for some big money fights. So, take your seat. We should be in for a real treat. Exciting, isn't it? The featherweight division is full of big-name fighters in their prime. But here we have 2 men who might already have retired to enjoy their outstanding achievements. They're just not made like that. If anything, both Medina and Tapia have got even better over the years. Our own former 3-weight world champion Duke McKenzie is with Barry to see if Tapia can now emulate Duke's own achievement here and perhaps line up a meeting with Naseem Hamed. There's that major test for heavyweight hopefuls in New York, and nearer home, a chance for one of Britain's up-and-coming youngsters. It's the unbeaten Yorkshireman James Hare challenging the Australian Julian Holland for the Commonwealth welterweight title. Hare looking to build on all his recent improvements.
Good stuff from Hare here.
Exciting lineup then, but let's get straight to Madison Square Garden in New York for Medina against Tapia, our commentary team, Jim Watt and Adam Smith, after MC Michael Buffer.
And now, courtesy of Cedric Kushner Promotions and M&M Sports Murad Mohammed Promoter, a special world title contest. The 3 judges at ringside scoring this bout on the 10-point system will be George Colon, Melvina Lathan, and Tony Paolillo. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Steve Smoker. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Featherweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black with silver. He officially weighed in at 125 3/4 pounds. And his professional record stands at 55 bouts, 51 victories, including 28 knockouts, with only 2 defeats and 2 even. And he has captured 4 world titles. From Albuquerque, New Mexico, the challenger, 4-time world champion, Mi Vida Loca, Johnny Tapia. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white with red and green. He officially weighed in at 126 pounds. In a professional record covering 71 bouts, he has been victorious 60 times, including 27 knockouts, and he has 11 losses. From Tijuana, Mexico, presenting the reigning and defending IBF Featherweight Champion of the World, Manuel Mantecas Medina.
Johnny, Manuel, por favor. All right, gentlemen, you're giving your instructions, both in Spanish and English. At the weigh-in, please obey my commands, respect the bell, and above all, protect yourself at all times. Comprende todo? Está bien? Ready to go, Johnny? Touch him up. Okay, guys.
Will this be another high-speed turn in the roller coaster career of boxing's Mi Vida Loca? Can Johnny Tapia provide another astonishing chapter to his crazy tale and, against all the odds and all his demons, become a 5-time and 3-weight world champion? Or will the underrated underdog, who's made a career of tearing up scripts, continue to baffle the featherweight world? For the IBF champion, Manuel Medina, here in his traditional Mexican colors, has held this belt 3 times, and so many have had problems with his awkward style. Terrific match on paper here in boxing's home, Madison Square Garden, the mecca of all stages, and it should be fascinating to see how these two technically skilled operators can outthink and outmaneuver each other.
Yeah, well, two real good pros, Adam, who know the game inside out. I mean, I'm surprised that either of them are still active and still at World Championship level, still the very top level.
Tapia must get close. Good left hook to the body. Medina has the height and reach advantages, standing at 5'9" to Tapia's 5'5.5". Looks to get in and then out. Tapia throwing his combination punches.
Stay up, Johnny. Stay up, Johnny.
Well, Tapia wants to make an impression straight away. That's what he's doing. He's really putting the power into the shots. Medina just trying to pick, just to find his range, box himself into the fight. But Tapia wants to declare war straight away.
Just reminiscent of his appearance in Britain a few months ago, as he lands that excellent right hand. Bethnal Green packed out to see one of boxing's legends, and he blew away Eduardo Alvarez in a round, and he's putting the pressure on Medina here early.
Yep,
that's good work from the Mexican.
He's shaking Medina up. The body shots are good, really stepping right in with the punches. He has to get close and stay close. Medina is a thinking fighter. He wants to find his range, keep him at long range. Tapia doing the right thing in the first round here.
Must try and negate
Don't punch, don't punch.
the Medina jab. Tapia and the counter shots like that.
I don't know if at 35 Tapia can keep this going for 12 rounds. Maybe his plans, this is not going to go the 12.
Also up at featherweight now, Tapia. And remember, Medina has been campaigning at 9 stone for so long. Very strong at the weight.
Excellent.
Good opening for Tapia. Corner of Johnny Tapia. Trainer Jesse Reed with Manuel Medina, Alberto Quirati and Junior.
Agarra la distancia de frente con él, le hace la finta, te jala para atrás y lo cantea. Porque es lo que está tratando de
That was a good start from Tapia though, wasn't it?
It was a good start, but this fella, nothing troubles this fella. He's seen it all, he's done it all, and he won't mind. He knows he has stamina, he knows he can take Tapia into the later rounds. But definitely the powerful shot is coming from Tapia. Tapia put a lot into the first round. They're both breathing heavy at the end of the first round. But I don't think Tapia can keep this pace going.
IBF featherweight title at stake. Manuel Medina, the champion from Tijuana, Mexico at 31. He's had an incredible career, holding this belt 3 times and the WBC version once. And gave Nassim Hamed all the problems in the world when they met in Dublin in August of '96. Can he deal with Johnny Tapia, one of the best boxers at the lower weights over the last decade? Very, very skillful. Won 150 of 162 amateur fights. And has only ever been beaten twice as a professional. But he is 35.
Yeah, I would imagine Tapia must start thinking about pacing himself. I don't know that he has the power to shift this fella with one hit. So you really have to look for a long fight. Everything points to a long fight here.
There's never a big puncher at super flyweight or bantamweight. He's got 28 inside the distance wins on his record, Tapia, but most late on.
Step.
He needs to settle down and get into his rhythm. Upset that of Medina. That was a good left hand.
See, I think the eye-catching punches are coming from Tapia. But Medina, this is what he likes doing, just messing opponents around, keeping him on the end with a long left jab.
It was a major surprise, really, that Medina regained this title when he stopped the defending champion, the southpaw Frankie Toledo, after 5 rounds back in November. And Nassim Hamad's trainer, Oscar Suarez, was telling me the other week that he was really good that night, Medina, and Suarez picked Medina to outbox Tapia here. Hamad disagreed.
Well, at the moment, Medina is landing the more punches in the second round here. As I say, Tapia's punches are eye-catching. He's putting more power into them. But this is the kind of fight Medina wants. Tapia has to change what's going on at this moment. He has to get closer, has to break this fellow's rhythm. Medina box, nothing flashy, nothing too wonderful. A good sound boxing from the champion.
Yes, the one man that so effectively broke the Medina rhythm was our own Paul Ingle and his great night in Hull. A thriller they had, and he had Medina down in the second round, again in the third. But the champion is so difficult to pin down. So Manuel Medina quickly getting his foothold back into this fight after only just 2 rounds and frustrating Tapia.
Yeah, well, he knows he must keep Tapia at arm's length. We'll see what Tapia's people are saying here.
The character of Johnny Tapia, who has this incredible story. His father shot dead before he was born. His mother, when Johnny was 7, kidnapped, assaulted, raped, hung and stabbed with an ice pick. And at the age of 8, he was in a coach crash that went over a cliff and people died all around him. An unbelievable start to life in Albuquerque, raised by his grandparents, and then had that serious problem with cocaine that kept him out of the ring for 4 years. It's a miracle he's still around. And moreover, that he's managed to keep himself together inside the ring, where he's put on so many fine displays over the years.
I'm surprised he's on his back foot. Tapia, I would have expected him to initiate the attacks here. He doesn't want to counter-punch this fellow. Far shorter reach, shorter in height. He wants to be going forward, getting close to Medina.
That's not usually the Tapia game, but he may have to risk that. Get inside that jab and try and work the Medina body and the face. Medina does cut badly. That's more what Tapia is looking for.
And that's another reason to try and get a couple of rounds into the bank. They both cut. This fight could be stopped because of cuts. So if it goes to the scorecards early, it would be nice to have a couple of rounds in the bank. But Tapia still standing off.
Yes, Medina was ahead against Toledo when that happened. Although the stoppage was from punches as opposed to a head clash. So there was no need for the scorecards then. A lot of skill with these two. A lot of heart. Good left to the body from Tapia, trying to pin Medina back up against the ropes and slow the legs down. We say Tapia is aging at 35, Medina only 31, but he's been boxing since 14, so he could come apart at any time.
Yeah, but I think we've been saying that for about 6 years, Adam. He just keeps shocking and surprising us with the quality of his boxing and keeps dragging out the performances.
It's phenomenal. It will be remembered as one of the better modern featherweights, Manuel Medina, for his sheer persistence.
See, Tapia is allowing Medina to box a nice steady rhythm here, and that suits Medina. Tapia has to break that rhythm, has to start leading off a little bit more. He's trying to counter-punch Medina a lot of the time. Not working in this round.
Accurate right crosses from Medina, who just stabs at an eye there.
Turn it on,
work
JT.
to the body.
You gotta turn it on.
Turn it on, baby. Don't let him try to out-hustle you. Punch with him. Punch with him and
Golpearlo.
Punch with him.
Hazme
You've got
caso
to
que te
stay
estoy
with him,
pidiendo.
they're
No
saying.
te fajes con él, ¿entendiste?
Yeah, well, they know he's standing off too much. He's allowing this fella to box at his own rhythm, and you can't do that with an experienced campaigner like this.
Sigue manejando el mismo ritmo. No le hagas caso a los
No
tratamientos,
cut
¿entendiste?
damage yet for Medina.
El punto.
He was just fiddling at that left eye as he walked back to his corner at the end of the last round. Touch gloves for the fourth. Johnny Tapia in the black and silver trunks with the tattoos all over his body. He's got his mother, his wife Teresa, the only person he says he trusts in the whole world, and Mi Vida Loca on the front, My Crazy Life. Manuel Medina just settling down, and boxing as we've seen him so often do, at range, on his bike, and making it so very difficult for his opponent to land anything clean.
Well, a big difference in Tapia's tactics from the first round. I mean, he came out then, really declared war. No way he could keep that pace going, but he settled down far too much. Has to lift the pace a little bit here. Can't box this fellow at long range.
He has to close the distance. Medina is still quick and awkward, and there's just a swelling building up beneath the left eye of Tapia. There's been so much talk of Tapia possibly fighting Nassim Hamad. He was due to fight Angel Vasquez in a warm-up and then took this shot and said he was like a kid going into the candy store. He just wants that featherweight world title. He's going to have to work very hard to get it.
He just doesn't seem to have found his timing yet. The mind knows what it wants to do, but the body's just not reacting quickly enough for Tapia here. But he's maybe going to have to throw caution to the wind a little bit, just out-hustle this fellow. Nothing really flashy in what Medina's doing, but it's all good sound boxing and very accurate.
And still so fresh after all these years in the game, Manuel Medina. It's amazing he hasn't walked away before, suffering some big defeats to Derek Gainer, Nassim Hamad. Tom Boom Boom Johnson always seemed to get one over on him. But Medina just refuses to go away. And look at this, boxing beautifully.
See, we're seeing some flashy bursts from Tapia, but he's not really making an impression on Medina. Not shaking him out of his rhythm. You can't match the accuracy at this moment that Medina has.
He's getting annoyed with himself. Tapia as his jab falls short. Touches gloves again. Mutual respect, but Tapia's got to do something different.
Johnny, move to the right and punch. He's wide open for those shots to the right. All right? Listen, you're pulling him into those hooks. You're landing one at a time. Land 4 and 5. Okay. Just punch at the chest down. Don't worry about the head. Just start making combinations. I want you to get to being where you're shaking your head and moving and get into a rhythm. All right? Get that rhythm. Don't make it
Tapia of old.
Yeah, but he can't stand off. He's trying to counter this fella, trying to outbox him. That's not going to happen. That's not Tapia's game. He has to ruffle him up, get in close, let the burst go. He's throwing a few decent combinations, but he hasn't found his range yet. And Medina's boxing so smooth.
It's everything calm in the Mexican corner here at the Madison Square Garden Theatre, where recently we saw Vernon Forrest's great win over Sugar Shane Mosley. And this is Johnny Tapia's first time in the Garden as a professional, and wife and manager Teresa said it was a dream come true. But I'm afraid that dream could be turning into a nightmare here unless he can find some way like this of getting to Medina better, pinning him down.
That's what he has to do, get close and let bursts of punches go. He's not going to out-jab Medina. He must be realising that. His corner have realised it already. They know there has to be changes in what he's doing. Medina's corners, they seem pretty happy. Don't know exactly what they're saying, obviously, but they seem happy. Tapia has to change things.
That long spearing jab that Medina has, doubles it up, triples it, and the right hand comes over. Snake-like shots, but Tapia manages to land a counter, and he just wants to break Medina up. And Paul Ingle did that so impressively, but he was a lot younger than Tapia and maybe quicker at that time.
Yeah, and Paul used to pride himself he could throw 100 punches every round, and he really set a pace, didn't allow Medina to settle. But Tapia standing off, he's trying to outthink him, he's trying to find a way to box past that jab. He's going to have to march right past it, he's going to have to, as he did in the first round, declare war and knock this fellow out of his stride.
Is he strong enough at featherweight to do that? The long-time WBO and IBF super flyweight champion, he unified the titles by beating arch rival Danny Romero, who is now his best friend.
I think Medina's jab is beginning to annoy and frustrate Tapia. He's trying to think his way past it and he can't do that. He's going to have to come up with something else. I think he's really going to have to throw caution to the wind. He doesn't mind taking a shot to land one. I think he's going to have to do that here.
There's also not so much head movement from Johnny Tapia. There was when he was at his peak, even when he lost those bitterly disputed decisions to Paulie Ayala. He looked more nimble and moved quicker. Maybe the weight's actually slowing him.
Well, I mean, 35 for a featherweight, I mean, it is a fair age.
Well, it's all Medina. Well, the incredible Manuel Medina, who began boxing at 12, turned professional at 14, and made his American debut still at 14, and won his first world title at the age of 20. Lied about his age, said he was 4 years older.
I think that's quite normal in that part of the world. You have to do something for money. Turning pro at 14, that can never happen in this country.
But I want more. I want more.
Well, Johnny Tapia there turning to the camera. I will be champion. He's got a great deal to do now as we enter the 6th round. Remember, Manuel Medina, the champion, holding the IBF featherweight belt in the white trunks, up against Johnny Tapia, challenging to become a 3-weight world champion. That's how Jim's got it, 3 points up to Medina.
Yeah, well, we've seen in the past that sometimes that the judges over here, they prefer that the burst of punches and the aggression that Tapia's tried to show. But for me, the good, clean, accurate boxing has been coming from Medina.
So you just never know how a judge is scoring a fight. Big controversy over last weekend's lightweight title fight between Floyd Mayweather and Jose Luis Castillo. Jim and I found Mayweather to be the winner over here. They thought very differently. Many people going for Castillo. They like the aggression, but surely there could be no doubt at the moment who's winning this fight.
Nope, certainly not on my card. Tapia trying to drive himself forward a little bit here. Medina flicking now with his punches. These are not the punches we were seeing earlier. But Tapia has to draw him into a war.
Still trying to look for the body of Medina. Tapia, it's better with his jab. Maybe he thinks he can come on late as Medina tires with his work rate.
Watch your heads, guys.
Watch the heads, says Steve Smoger. Remember, the cut's a problem for both men especially Medina. Cut to shreds by Paul Ingle and Naseem Hamed, time and time again.
A little bit more urgency now in Tapia's work. This is what they want to see. This is what his corner wants to see. Get close and let bursts of punches go.
Just thinking Tapia, looking for something else. Lunges with that left hook. And that looked low, yes. And he apologises straight away, Johnny Tapia. In the ring, he is an absolute gentleman. He conducts himself to the Marquess of Queensberry rules so well that you'd never believe he gets into trouble, well, pretty much every month outside the ring.
I mean, it's touching the way they actually touch gloves at the start of every round. Two real good old pros with mutual respect, and definitely an improvement in Tapia's work in this round.
Yes, Tapia just glad to be in the ring. Doesn't even know if he'll be around tomorrow, he always tells us. He just lives for today. But today is not going well.
Look at combination. I want you to start backing him up with a jab and get into rhythm.
Theatre.
Punch with him, beat him to the
Jesse
punch.
Reed getting angrier in the corner.
I want quick feet and moving those hands. All right?
Hey, I didn't mean to. It's quite all right, Johnny. It's quite all right. You know,
I got respect.
no, you're good.
Take it over.
See there, Tapia apologising, I think, for the low blow. I've got respect for him. He's a fantastic character, really. When he came over to England, he put a smile on everyone's face, and was a privilege to have him here. Second half of this IBF featherweight title fight. Big interest in the 9-stone division at the moment. Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales to clash on June the 22nd. And back home at the London Arena, Naseem Hamed will fight Manuel Calvo, the former European champion, on May the 18th. Derek Gainer, the WBA champion, also defends his title against the unbeaten Puerto Rican Daniel Cedar soon. And the WBO holder, Julio Pablo Chacon, looks set to meet Scotland's featherweight Scott Harrison. There's plenty of activity. And here the two aging campaigners of the division battling it out for the IBF prize.
At least Tapia's moving forward, missing quite a bit here, but at least he's pushing Medina back, controlling the pace a little bit more. I think he must realise he's got to come up with something that's just a little bit better than he's been doing.
This is, he was told by his 18th trainer, Jesse Reed. He's been with Buddy McGirt, Freddie Roach, and they were just recently. He must get the combinations in. Mustn't be a sitting target for Medina. Just slaps out those wiry shots and seems to have far too much accuracy for Tapia.
A little backhander that Medina threw just a few seconds ago, but a good referee, Smoger, he waited until the action cooled down before he pulled him up about it. But nothing vicious, really sporting contest here.
Still stalking Medina, Tapia. Fantastic uppercut on the inside there from the Mexican, who, when in this form and at this rhythm, is very hard to beat. So many of Medina's fights go the distance. Naseem Hamed did well through that cold he had on the night in Dublin to force Medina to retire after the 11th round, because he managed to put Paul Ingle down in the 12th. Tapia hoping, still wanting this title again. He raises his hands. It's an old tradition he has, trying to play to the judges towards the end of the round. It's not working for us.
You see how loose you're getting on your feet? Beautiful round. Keep it up.
Well, they like that better from the corner.
I got the nose.
But I don't think he's dismantling
You see how
Medina
you got those hands
in
in
any
motion
way,
and you're
Jim.
starting to move
Well,
with
he was
your
pushing
body.
him back in that
Then you
round,
dig
and
that
Medina was
elbow
little
back
flicking
to the head,
punches, not
and
really
chop him down
the
with the
solid
right
jabs
hand
that we've been seeing. So
All right,
things
try to keep
swung
those
a little
hands
bit,
free,
and
don't let him get his arms
definitely an
on.
improvement in his
All
work.
right.
He's not got hold of the fight yet, but that definitely an improvement in his work.
He's got time, and he knows Medina can fade and may fade. All the miles on the clock. Now completed 522 rounds of his boxing career.
See, we saw flicking punches from Medina in that round. He wasn't stepping in with them. And the flashier stuff coming from Tapia.
Again, they touch gloves. The two veteran campaigners who both want this title so very much. Medina to retain, Tapia to add to his super flyweight and bantamweight crowns. Remember, he's held the WBO and IBF super flyweight, the WBO and WBA bantamweight. This will be a 5th world title at 3 different weights. I mean, he's already a boxing legend from what he's done to get this far with his crazy life. But time running out for Tapia in this fight.
I think there's more chances Tapia will be catching the judges' eyes in the last couple of rounds, because he's coming forward, throwing punches, not all that accurate, but he's taking the play away from Medina a little bit more.
There's a good left hook just under the Medina right elbow, and he just seemed to sag slightly, the Mexican. Their corner will be hoping he hasn't done all his best work in the early rounds. Needs to keep this up. Remember, Tapia a real crowd favourite too.
Well, it's developing into Tapia's kind of fight now. This is far better, a lot closer now, and he seems to just about a little bit stronger at times than Medina. Medina flicking little punches, not really the quality punches we were seeing earlier.
Absolutely, the strength in the Medina arms doesn't look as good as it was. And while the flicking jabs are still creeping through the Tapia guard, he's less authoritative and looks just a little ungamely at the moment, Medina.
Tapia was having trouble getting close in the early rounds, but he's getting close now. The pace is slowing a little bit, and a definite improvement in Tapia's work.
It's much, much better from the Albuquerque hero, the man from New Mexico, who won his first world title in the pit there, in front of 16,000 fans, and campaigns for the city to clean it up. Guns for tickets. If people hand in guns, he gives them tickets for their fights in Albuquerque. And now he's boxing far better, Johnny Tapia, and he's enjoying it. It's a big swing.
Yeah, Medina's trying to come forward now. If he could back Tapia up, it would be a big plus, but that was a better round for Tapia.
Yes, eager to carry on, Johnny Tapia.
A little busier with your hands.
Little busier with your hands, says Jesse Reed in the corner.
Albuquerque, I'm still chopping, baby.
Johnny,
Yes, sir.
you notice how you pushed his arms off you from holding you and you kept banging?
Yeah.
I want more of that. Don't let him hold you. Get rough with him. Get your shoulders in there.
Okay.
Turn your body, and I want you digging.
All right.
All right, digging. I want combinations now.
Yes, sir, he says in the corner. He never ceases to amaze me, Johnny Tapia. There's more volume in the Medina corner. We can hear that.
Yeah, well, they know the fight's beginning to swing the other way. Perfect start for Medina, but things beginning to slide this man's way.
That mark underneath the left eye from earlier on, but very quick off his stool for the last 4 rounds. Johnny Tapia in the black and silver in his 56th fight. He's won 51 Manuel Medina in his 72nd. Incredible, at only 31. He's won 60 of those. And, well, Jim, now you have Tapia back level. I've got Medina 1 up.
That is the real turnaround. The main thing is that, you know, you can hear Tapia's corner are far happier because he's beginning to produce. And in close rounds, I feel the judges are going to lean towards the fellow coming forward, and that's been Tapia over the last couple of rounds.
Solid left hook there from Tapia, who seems to have grown into this fight, matured into it. Having gone for broke in the first round and then standing off for the next 4 or 5 as Medina boxed his fight. But now is the time Tapia must keep pressing forward, keep busy, and slow down the champion.
All right, look, I know. Stay up. You all right, Manuel? Johnny, don't make me take a point now, Johnny, okay?
He doesn't want to take a point, Steve Smoger. He's, but he has to, obviously, if Johnny keeps straying low.
Watch your head, Johnny. Watch out. Watch out.
They all call him Johnny, I noticed, the referees. They love him as well.
Yeah, he's one of the game's real characters. I mean, he's a throwback to the 50s, like Rocky Graziano and people like that. Just the same mould as those.
I'll tell you what a character he is, Jim. He's been clinically dead 3 times, once for 1 minute and 23 seconds, and he was released from hospital and went out that night. That's what he's like.
That's the mark of the man. See, Medina's struggling a little bit now. Not quality punches, the little pit-pat punches. He's not stepping in. I don't know that you can actually score these punches. He's just fiddling around like a little sparring session.
As he looks unsettled now, Medina. As Tapia is just bundled to the floor, so is the Mexican.
I mean, we're not seeing quality punches in this round from either guy, but Medina, there's nothing in these punches at all, just tapping the gloves out.
So at the moment, surely you'd score this round to Tapia. He's the one coming forward. He's the one doing more. And as Jim says, remember, the Americans over here like the aggression. They like to come forward fighters. And Tapia is winning that battle at the moment. He's come back extremely well, I think. Madison Square Garden, the place that Johnny Tapia has waited to box in for so long. And Manuel Medina, well, he's been all around the world. He had a tour of Europe. He's been to France, Italy, Ireland, England, and the Philippines, where he lost his WBC featherweight title to Lucito Espinosa.
Did you see already say 1?
Yes. Walking down and get rough, Johnny. Get rough.
Let the hands go, Johnny.
Get rough. Let those hands go with combinations.
That's the right advice, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, you can see when he's got close, when he hasn't stood off and tried to counter-punch the champion, far better results for Tapia.
No knockdowns there. Again, once more, the respect is there. Just 9 minutes left of this IBF featherweight title fight. The champion, Manuel Medina, who got off to such a terrific start, boxing well, and Johnny Tapia just couldn't deal with the quick hands, skill and reach and get inside. But over the last few rounds, he's made it his type of fight. He's got in closer. Still not getting in and out like the Tapia of old with bursts of combinations, but he's smiling now and really enjoying this as he starts to apply the pressure late on.
See, I think the big question, Adam, is do you give points for these little tapping punches that Medina's throwing? I mean, he's not putting really anything into these shots at all. He's probably landing more often than Tapia, but they're not quality punches.
The crowd now really getting behind Johnny Tapia, who's putting his punches together very well here. Little coming back from Medina, and Tapia playing to the crowd
Keep up.
here in New York. The fans that have come out to see him make a bit of history here, and he's really going for it. Very, very impressive. Late on in the 10th, has Medina got an answer? Johnny, Johnny, the Garden shout, and that will spur him on, no doubt. He wants this title so much, Johnny Tapia. It will be an absolute dream come true if he can pull it off.
Well, he's been involved in a couple of close fights in the past that have gone against him, Tapia. So you would think he would keep this pace going if he still has it in him to try to get a clincher on this match. As I said earlier, big improvement in Tapia's work over the last 3 or 4 rounds.
As he was furious when Paulie Ayala beat him twice, stormed out of the ring after their second fight.
Let's not get into a mud contest.
Steve Smoger just getting them to watch it with the heads as the intensity here really heats up. Just get that feeling. Does Tapia want it that bit more?
That's it.
That's a great right from Tapia, and Medina took that on the left side of his face, which is puffing up.
Yeah, definitely the crisper punches from Tapia, the better quality punches. Medina still fiddling a little bit. He's trying to get a little bit more snap into his shots in this round, but too many pit-pat punches from the champion.
Look at that from Tapia. Absolutely delighted.
That's the way to work. We need these next 2 rounds big. You hear me?
Yeah.
Don't give him anything. Take it away from him. Listen to me. This is where this comes into play.
Okay.
Bring it all out. Don't save anything. You don't need to rest. Take it away from this son of a gun.
I will.
Don't let him steal it from you. Don't let him steal it.
Great
This is
speech
your fight. All the
from
way.
Jesse Reed,
All right.
a la Teddy Atlas,
I ain't getting robbed, Mr. Reed.
when he spoke to Michael
Take him
Mora
out, son.
in that
Take him out.
cracking
You
heavyweight
hear me?
fight with Evander
Take him
Holyfield.
out.
Take him
Tear
out.
that head off his shoulders.
That's motherfucker. He's like
They want this bad, and they know that he's got to box well for the next 2 rounds to make sure.
Yeah, but Reed knows he's turned the fight around, he's producing his best work, and it's just like it's not tactics now, it's not ability, it's just sheer heart, and that's what he's trying to tell Tapia.
And Johnny Tapia has had the heart to come through his turbulent, tempestuous life. So many problems, so many difficulties, yet he's still standing and just possibly on the verge of becoming a 3-weight world champion. Jim, you've got him 2 up.
Yeah,
With
that's
2 to go.
that's down to what he's been putting into the fight, and the fact that Medina, he's maybe landing punches, but I can't really look upon them as quality shots. They're little flicks.
I have Tapia up as well, but he does need now to keep the pressure on Manuel Medina. If Medina gets back into the rhythm that he was boxing in earlier in the fight, and he's trying that, it could be very, very close.
The head's banging again. I mean, that's a few times Tapia's come off worst in the clashes of heads, and the referee Smoger has pulled him up about it.
And Medina on the move again, just pitter-patter with the jab. It's a bit better, but nothing like in the earlier rounds.
He's making Tapia miss this time though, and he's using the ring. He's moving around. Nice defensive boxing from Medina. He's found that little bit more energy now.
It's been an absolutely intriguing fight. Very interesting from the first bell to look at the tactics of these two. And as Jim said, it may just come down here to who has that heart and who can finish stronger. Tapia smiling, but Medina having the better of this 11th round. And it could be vital.
Watch your heads, watch your heads.
Well, we're not seeing the big push from Tapia that his corner demanded. He's maybe saving it for the last minute here, try and catch the judge's eye. That's a good old pro trick as well. Do your best work in the last minute of a round. but he hasn't really got started in the first couple of minutes here.
Right on cue, Jim. Here comes Tapia for the last 40 seconds. What an old pro he is. Look at him. Suddenly there's bounce in the legs as he looks to tie Medina up, force him back and deliver the punches that will catch the judge's eyes.
Now Medina showing he can also dig in when the time comes. When it's needed, he can do it.
Yes, lovely combination there.
I think he's complaining a little backhander again there, little hints about a backhander.
A couple of sweet right hands though. Medina's round for me. Jim?
Yep, Medina's got himself back in here. Half Tapia, 1 point up.
You got some tape, Rod?
So one more good round just to make sure.
Johnny.
Yes.
More combinations, son.
Yes.
I want this round big.
Okay. Oh, how?
He's running like a thief. Steal this next round big. You need this last round.
Okay.
Well, Jesse Reed there saying you need this last round. You've got him one up. I've got it level. We don't know how the three judges, George Colon, Melvina Lathan and Tony Trujillo, have the fight. It could be extremely close. And it could all come down to the final 3 minutes. Will Johnny Tapia do enough here to take this IBF featherweight title off Manuel Medina and seal his place in the history books if he hasn't already done? A three-weight world champion, well, they don't come along too often. Everything at stake here. Final 3 minutes in the Garden, and Jim has Tapia just in the lead. It's been a fight that has swung around much like Tapia's career, highs and lows for both men. Who wants it more?
Well, you would expect Tapia as challenger giving everything he has in the last round here. No use saving anything now.
Medina is the one working at the moment. Again, Johnny placed the crowd. Needs to be revved up. Fights with passion, Tapia. But look how well Medina's done too, to still be fiddling through this and hoping to just cling on to his IBF crown and maybe get a big money rematch with Naseem Hamed. That's the prize at stake, one thinks. That's a backhander from Medina, and Steve Smoger saw that. He's refereed this well, hasn't he?
He has very well, yeah. He's picked the right spot to speak to the fighters. He hasn't broken the action. Good referee.
And Medina is boxing again behind the jab and getting through with more punches. Is he just doing more now in the final home straight than Tapia? He's not having this big round that his corner wanted.
No, I don't think it's in him anymore, Adam. The 11th and 12th round, when he really needed to give it everything he hasn't quite managed to pull that off. Medina back. He used the word just about a minute ago, fiddling, and that's what Medina's been doing. He's been doing a fair bit of fiddling. But in this round, Tapia's not coming back with anything better. And Medina so far is nicking this round.
This is so close. And we really will wait with anticipation as to how the three judges have got this, because it could simply go either way. Tapia trying to come on late here. Medina, as Jesse Reed in Tapia's corner said, has been thieving this. He's been stealing the rounds, and has he just done enough to cling by the skin of his teeth onto his IBF featherweight title, or will it be Tapia?
Over, guys. Beautiful.
Beautiful, says Steve Smoger. Tapia raises his arms aloft,
Well, I've given Medina the last round, Adam, so that squares it all up on my card.
You've got it level. I've got Medina nicking it by a round, but it could be Johnny Tapia that's the new champion. You just don't know what the judges would have looked for. And what a fight. Great technical display from both men. And a terrific match.
Terrific match. I think over the 12 rounds, Medina landed more punches, but in some of the rounds, I didn't think they were of decent quality. You know, he was fiddling, he was pit-patting, tapping. This fella put more into his shots, and that's what squared it up for me. That's what made it so close.
Just seen Teresa getting up into the ring. Johnny's wife and manager, who always has to be, there she is, just behind him, always has to be very close. Not a smile on her face. She looks worried, and the Medina corner look slightly happier. Well, whether Johnny Tapia wins or loses here tonight, he's done himself proud and could, I suggest, still earn a payday with Naseem Hamed on the back of his past achievements. But there again, if he's won this world title, well, that'll give something really to be put to the table to Naseem Hamed. Again, he's playing to the crowd, but it's too late for all that, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's all been done and dusted now. Just look forward to hearing how the judges, if they like this man's accuracy, then fine. If they like the heart and guts that Tapia put into it, then it's going to go his way. But very close.
I don't think you can complain about whoever wins this. Even a draw could be the fair result. It will be fascinating. I'm sure the judges will be split.
Yeah, well, Tapia in so many close shots, and here's in another one.
They're telling him five-time world champion Johnny Tapia. Let's have a listen to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Madison Square Garden, we go to the Budweiser scorecards. Melvina Lathan scores the contest 114 to 114, even. Tony Paolillo scores it 115 to 113. George Colon scores it 115 to 113 for the winner. And new IBF
Johnny Tapia wins his 5th world title, a 3-weight champion. What a moment for the man from Albuquerque, New Mexico, who has become here a boxing legend. Medina disgusted and walks from the ring. Well, 114 even, 2 to Tapia.
Yeah, can't argue with that. However it was going to go, you couldn't argue with that. Great fight. Feel sorry for this man here.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Jesse Reed, your trainer, was urging you on at the end, telling you that you had to win rounds, you had to take it to him. Did you think you were winning the fight?
The fight was close. If you look at it, first of all, I'd like to give a lot of thanks and praise to God for guiding me and protecting me. Larry, you know, I'm happy to be back on HBO again. But he's skillful, got a lot of experience. As a boxer, he was hard to catch. So I ended up trying to cut the ring and catching him. It was very close. There's nothing I can say right now there.
You are the star in this fight, just as Floyd Mayweather Jr. was last week against Castillo. Do you think that benefited you in the scoring?
You know what, Larry, I'm not going to say bad about anybody. That's not what kind of person I am, Larry. I got all respect in the world for a great world champion. I left it in the hands of the judges. They told me to push it. I almost knocked him out, dropped him a couple times, but he's just a tough cookie.
There had been talk about you fighting Prince Hamed. Is that the next fight you want?
Yes, Larry. Now that's a business now, Larry. I love the sport of boxing. I am a fighter. I am a warrior. I couldn't do my boxing skills because he was height. I couldn't catch him if I really wanted to. But I'm just glad nobody got in trouble.
That is a revealing interview for what was not said by Johnny Tapia. But the bottom line is 3-weight world champion, emulating Duke McKenzie. Your assessment, Duke?
I thought both the fighters are a credit to themselves. You know, they both acquitted themselves absolutely brilliantly. However, I think Medina pipped it. If you look at last week's fight, where Mayweather and Castillo, it was the exact same thing, where Mayweather boxed on the back foot, got the decision. Now, for my money, that's what Medina done. He just boxed on the back foot, kept fiddling away, kept picking away, kept chipping away, landing consistently. Tapia forced the fight, was pushing forward but not landing a lot. Landed the bigger shots, sure, but got outworked generally.
How did you score it, Barry?
I had it. I had Medina winning by 2 rounds. I thought he clearly won the fight. However, I would never be bad and hard on Johnny Tapia. He's never had a break in his life. He's worked his way through everything, he deserves everything, and I tell you what, I would rather see him and Naseem Hamed than Medina and Hamed again. And maybe that's the way the judges were looking at it, but I thought Medina won the fight.
But do you get the idea, as I said, that Tapia, by what he didn't say, he thought, that wasn't really mine tonight. But he deserves it, doesn't he, for his life?
Listen, as I say, he deserves it, and I think he's great, and I really think he's such a sensitive, yet he's in such a tough business, yet he's such a sensitive guy. He's a great guy, and I would never say anything bad about him, but I don't think he won the fight. I thought Medina was robbed.
And one other piece of news here, Manuel Medina is not a shot fighter.
No, he's certainly not shot. I mean, we've been saying it for a little while now. When you think of the fighters that he's actually fought over the years, going right back to Tom Johnson, he's boxed Paul Ingalls, boxed a host of world champions, past and present, and he's still there.
What amazes me, we were talking about off air about how he looked as good in the 12th round as he did in the first. In fact, he looked even fresher in the 12th round, just non-stop.
Our US TV colleagues tell us he threw 1,466 punches.
Yeah.
They tell us that is a record for any fight they have ever covered.
It's amazing.
Wow, that's amazing.
Just a final word from you for the moment, Duke, about the featherweight scene now. Tapia, do we add him to the long list? Of course, in this country, Brody and Harrison, the young pretenders to Naseem, and the world-class men elsewhere. Tapia's in that mix, isn't he?
Absolutely. You've got to stick this kid in the frame. And unlike any of those guys, he has the tenacity to pull it out. If you put him in with any of the guys you've just mentioned, he'll give everybody a proper fight.